That's part of that.
Oh, well, there we go. Now it's doing its proper thing. Getting close. Looks like it's 7 o'clock. I call to order the Seymour Common Council meeting for Monday, August the 10th, 2026. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We'll start off with the invocation by the Reverend Les Lenz. All rise.
Father, we come before you with grateful hearts, realizing the privilege it is to live in a republic, a pattern you established for us in the book of Romans, 13th chapter. In a moment, we'll celebrate that freedom as expressed by the flag, the symbol for which it stands. In a similar way, we pray for our city council, symbol of the Seymour, Indiana citizenry, as they stand to listen to those they serve and apply in their knowledge what they think to be in their best interest. Father, as Macy Barley brings forth the latest information that's been amassed, may we celebrate her work and that of her colleagues, that we may continue finding as much funding as possible for those striving for a hand up, that they might successfully live beyond paycheck to paycheck challenges. For those wishing to better themselves with employment anew, we ask you to bless them with favor as they attend the JCIDC-sponsored employment fair of September 2nd at our local Ivy Tech Learning Center. Father, we seek to remind those here and those watching online of the numerous recreational activities Seymour offers, including the City Hall Art Gallery, comprised of local talent. And, Father, as the council focuses on local issues, especially those of zoning and annexation, we pray for both sides to utilize open minds to achieve what you deem will work best for their collective lives. Father, as we close, we ask you to continue to bless those responsible for our safety with favor, and may they realize your part in delivering them out of all trouble as they do so. In the authority of Jesus the Christ, we pray all these things. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thanks, Les. Everyone, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, those are all good. Roll call, please, Mr. Bowes.
Mrs. Long.
Here.
Mr. Maxey.
Here.
Mr. Hubbard.
Here.
Mr. Davidson.
Present.
Mr. Lucas.
Here.
Mr. Fry.
Present.
You have everyone accounted for.
Thanks, sir. Okay, if everybody's had a chance to review the minutes of the previous meeting, I'll entertain any motions related to.
I cannot vote on them. I wasn't at the last meeting, but I did notice that in the minutes, Mrs. Blitz, was that her name, was spelled differently in two places. I didn't know if correction needed to be made on that.
Mrs.
Let me find it here. I'm sorry. Pardon? Well, I'm sorry. I was looking at the minutes before.
Oh.
Okay.
Stand corrected.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
All those opposed or abstaining. Denny, you abstaining since you weren't here?
This is Grizzle.
Grizzle.
It's spelled differently twice.
Are you abstaining since you weren't here?
I am abstaining
Okay.
since I wasn't at the last meeting.
I will as well.
Okay. 402 with the two being abstains, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Reports from committees, boards, and commissions. Mr. Bowes?
Reports, Mrs. Long.
No.
Mr. Maxey.
No, sir.
Mr. Hubbard.
No.
Mr. Davidson.
No.
Mr. Lucas.
Nope.
Mr. Fry.
No, sir.
Okay, we do have an update from the Jackson County United Way from their community conversations, and also Alice data, if I remember correctly. Executive Director Macy Barley.
Good evening. As Mayor Matt mentioned, my name is Macy Barley. I'm the Executive Director at Jackson County United Way. Thank you for giving me some time to share our most recent community conversation results and the 2024 ALICE data. So beginning last year, April 2025, we hosted 15 community conversations asking Jackson County residents, what kind of community do you want? What concerns do you have? What do you think is keeping us from making the progress we want? And what can be done to make a difference? Referring to the community conversation summary report in front of you this evening, or for those behind me, you can go to jacsy.org under Learn More. Residents share that they would like to see a safe and welcoming community, affordable and stable, physically and mentally healthy, and innovative and collaborative. You can then see a breakdown of the top issues identified by Jackson County residents. It would be easy for me to stand here as the Executive Director of United Way to tell you what I see and hear daily that are concerns or what kind of community I envision, but I'm only one resident. The goal was to hear from as many willing participants as possible. We had a wide range of individuals participate in these conversations: senior citizens, young adults, high school students, incarcerated individuals, people in recovery, and unhoused people, to name a few. We currently are on step 2. Step 1 was to gather the information for those who participate in the conversations. Step 2 is to inform about the results, which is why I'm here this evening. Capturing the voices of as many willing participants as possible takes a lot of time. Throughout the conversations, we repeatedly heard about the lack of countywide transportation and the fact that most community resources are available only in one part of the county, which is Seymour. Even before we finished our conversations, United Way knew we could help mitigate these 2 barriers. Through Indiana United Ways, in partnership with Lilly Endowment, we received a grant to create and build a community resource bus. This mobile unit will allow us to collaborate with other resourceful agencies throughout the county to distribute resources to our most vulnerable neighbors. I invite you to attend our ribbon cutting for our community resource bus on Monday, August 24th, beginning at 9 at the United Way office, which is right next to CrossFit. Based on the results of the community conversations, we aim to continue sharing results with those who can help create positive, lasting change in our community. The next page is the Jackson County ALICE data, which reflects the 2024 census. For those unfamiliar with the acronym ALICE, it stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, and Employed. These households earn more than the federal poverty level, but less than the basic cost of living. They live paycheck to paycheck and do not qualify for government assistance, and they are one emergency away from a financial crisis. The federal poverty level for a family of 4 in 2024 was $31,200, while the survival cost for a family of 4 in Indiana in 2024 was $74,028, nearly a $40,000 gap. This is just enough to survive. This isn't to help these families become financially stable. Although the FPL increased in 2026 from $31,200 to $33,000, it's still just not enough. Based on the 2024 census, there are 18,138 households in Jackson County. Of those households, 24% are considered ALICE and 13% are living in poverty. 15% of Jackson County ALICE households are living in food insecurity. Again, these are the families that are living paycheck to paycheck. 39% of Jackson County ALICE households pay 30% or more of their household income on rental cost. On the back of the sheet, you will find the percentages of ALICE and of those living in poverty based on population and for each township. As prices of goods and services rise and pay and salaries do not, we are seeing more ALICE households and those in poverty in Jackson County. I encourage you to review the community conversation results I know there's a lot there. The county ALICE data based on the 2024 census, and United Way's community impact sheet that's on the back from 2023 to 2025 on the last page, so you can help us continue to support your neighbors and constituents. Please also continue supporting local nonprofit agencies that work day in and day out to ensure our neighbors have a chance to thrive, not just survive. Thank you.
How many households in Jackson County?
18,138.
Any questions for Macy? Okay, Macy, thank you for
All right, thank
coming
you.
in. Thank you. Okay. We do have a public hearing tonight. The public hearing is related to the proposed super voluntary annexation of certain territory, which is the corner of 31 and 50, southeast corner, to the city of Seymour. If you would like to speak for or against, that's fine. Just remember, relate it to the annexation. This is not the moment to argue the zoning piece of it. It's the moment to talk about the annexation part of it. So Mark, I believe, after bit, will give some detail. Chris, I know, has some detail when it comes to the impact, the fiscal impact. So those will be coming. But just so everybody's aware, this is related to the annexation. So, so with that, at the sound of the gavel, I will open the public hearing, and I will invite anybody that's interested in speaking in favor of it to step forward. You will have a 3-minute time limit. Public hearing is open. Please state your name when you get up there as well.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to make it of record that who the applicant was, and we're here to answer any questions. My name, again, is Blair Carmesino with Becknell Industrial, with offices in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we have numerous projects throughout Indiana, and I have not seen any of the studies or anything associated with it, but I'll be happy to answer any questions later. So just making of record who the applicant is for the annexation. Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak in favor of annexation? Who would like to speak against annexation?
Can you give them the definition of annexation? That way they know exactly what you're talking about.
Annexation in this case is when the property owners wish to join the boundaries of a city, this being the city of Seymour.
I would just ask the gentleman who spoke what the intentions are that they just have, why they are wanting to be annexed, just what they're overall hoping to get out of having their property annexed into Seymour.
Are we supposed to allow? I hate public hearings. Do we just give him a chance to
respond.
Okay. Blair, would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, Tyler, he might have to say my name.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler, for the question. Our intentions are to annex to the city, to seek and attract industrial development. We do not have a user yet, which when we get into the third reading on the zoning, I'll further explain that. But the tenants that we attract appreciate being in corporate boundaries. They appreciate having public fire service, public police service. And yes, we could leave it in the county, but then you've got different entities serving different things. So we are just trying to annex in, not to take advantage of the city, but also bring the benefits of being annexed in, which is the assessed value and the other jobs and the costs that would come into the city as a result. Thank you.
Thanks, Blair. Anyone else like to speak or comment related to annexation?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Darren, Christine. Good to see you all again. I have several questions, concerns. My name's Willard Everhart.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. I'm a resident at Seymour. One of my concerns, and what brought us to this point, was the hearing for rezoning, and now it's an annexation, and I get that. But this plan commission, as part of this process, didn't ask any questions. And for 2 meetings that the councils had, while it was still being considered rezoning, didn't really ask any questions what the purpose was. And we're still hearing that we're going to hear about the purpose when the gentleman, if it gets annexed, which I'm sure it will, the gentleman said when they get to the rezoning, then they'll bring about a purpose.
Well, Mr. Everhart, I mean, based on what's happening here, if it gets rezoned or not, if it's voted to be annexed, it will be annexed into the city.
Understand that.
Which that vote is after the zoning
Understand.
conversation. So
There are some concerns that I have, and one of them is drainage, and I'm sure the group will probably address that. But based on the drawing that I've seen that's been circulated on the internet, posted on Facebook.
Mr. Everhart, these would be better served under the zoning.
No, I don't believe so, Darren. I would disagree with you because we're talking about a process here. Annexation is part of that process. And these people that are neighbors are going to have to deal with it, whether it's annexed or it's rezoned, and whichever comes first. So I think it's part of the process.
Well, if it gets annexed and not developed, then there's no change to them. All it does is change the value of it. You know, currently, with the county, this piece of property sold in 2021 for $1,450,000. Do you know what it's currently assessed for with the county?
I didn't look at it, no.
Okay, it is assessed for $378,000.
I get to reclaim my time, don't I, Matt?
I was going to encourage everybody to let you say your piece and then discuss it after your 3 minutes were up, but we've kind of missed that already with you, Chip.
Well, I apologize for taking some of your time.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
But the county's kind of already missed out on a lot of tax revenue because it's still classified as farm ground. Because it's supposed to, your property values are supposed to move towards assessed or retail value. 2021, the retail value is $1,450,000. And the county's getting no more revenue than when it was farm ground.
So the city's looking at this as a method to raise funding because of the shortfall possibly coming January of next year.
Sure.
Just like county government is.
Sure.
So you're doing it because you need the cash.
We're doing it because they asked for it.
There is one important part that I believe these people property are going to be affected. And I believe, and I'm not an attorney, Christine is, but I think there's other legal minds that would engage this as part of the Fifth Amendment. It's a taking. It possibly could be argued that it's a taking. We historically think of a taking as real property, buildings, ground. Taking property can also be defined as an intangible. So if this property is annexed and then rezoned and something built, you're taking the happiness that these people have presently. And I'm not sure what will happen with the city. We talk about tax revenue. There's a track record that says right now they're going to stand in line for a tax abatement and the city will grant that. So I think there's a lot of questions. Annexation, rezoning, it's a process. And that now we've redefined, we've stepped away back from rezoning. So now we're going to annex it, all because the city wants the money. And I guess I get that.
Thanks, Chip.
But let's live within our bounds, live within our means. We can't take more money.
Anybody actually like to speak on annexation? because we will get to rezoning after annexation, Chip, but,
Tonight?
yeah,
Oh, well, great.
here and it's after the vote, which I tried to tell you a minute
Can we
ago.
call out for sandwiches?
So you are more than welcome to. So Jimmy John's will probably deliver, Chip. So would anybody like to discuss annexation? Because again, we will get to rezone
Awesome.
actually the next item after this. So we
So
do
I get another
appreciate,
3 minutes?
I personally no, but you spent your total 3 minutes
You
there
can't-
on
you can't
rezone.
change the rules on me, man.
Well, last call for, go,
I have a question.
annexation.
My name's Mark Patrick. Since Becknell is voluntarily asking for annexation, so what if all the adjacent property owners, what if we all ask for adjacent or,
It'll go through the
voluntarily?
exact same process as what Becknell's going through.
Okay, then we would get fire service, police service, all that. So why don't we just put this all in a big package and approve all of it?
Because the state of Indiana has made it almost impossible for us to put it in that package, but if you as 500, what is it, south, north? If, with you as 500 north, if you all came in and said we would like to be annexed, we have to look at the fiscal impact that it'll have on the city, and we have to look at all the pieces like we do for a super voluntary annexation for any property. But it would take the group of you deciding we couldn't do one house and not the next one, and that just comes down to things like trash service and things like that.
Sure.
So-
So, but if we all came here and said we want to be annexed, you would do it?
They would, I can't do any of it. I'm just the one that orchestrates the meeting. Council would have to make that decision. We would have to look at the impacts, so.
Yeah, I think it would be fair to have us annexed.
You guys get together and come together as a group, we can totally
Then
explore
we
that
would get
idea.
fire,
Mhm.
water, sewer, fire service, police.
No water, we
well-
don't control the water.
We have, there's water available. We can get that from Indiana American.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's us.
And then we'd also get to vote.
Mm-hmm, you would,
Okay, so we'd get a vote for every one of you then.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else like to discuss annexation? Name before we
Matthew Beam.
Thank you.
So my understanding is that this annexation is just to gain resources or, fire, police, and ambulance services and trash and water and the such.
Well, you already have ambulance, but yes.
So,
And no water.
thank you. With that being the case, instead of annexation, can we not discuss actually just providing those services on a contractual basis if he chooses to build out there? If we rezone it without annexation, can we not contractually as a city, hey, we'll provide fire service, we'll provide.
This is what the company is requesting. They didn't come to us and say, can you provide these services under contract? They asked us to annex.
Yes, that's what they've asked us to, but we don't have to give them that, and we can offer, counters to that. So if they're looking for those services, can we not counter to say, well, not necessarily bring you into, you can stay county land. You can get rezoned in the county to build your buildings. But if you want services from Seymour, instead of getting rezoned, getting your tax abatement and getting on over us, like, I look at the Vital Farms that was just built. I imagine that that's not going to be used anymore from what I've said. Is that correct? So that's an empty building now.
No, the company has said they will be starting
Oh, they are still
next year.
following through.
I don't know who started the rumor, but the company said in the last meeting I was in with them.
So you've heard that rumor before.
Oh, yeah, you
Oh,
guys
thank
throw
you,
all
thank
kinds of
you.
fun stuff out on the
fault me
internet.
for getting that one wrong. That's fair, thank you. But what services can we not provide contractually to them?
Again, this is the company requesting annexation. The company didn't request this, didn't request that we provide contractual services. They
May I
requested
ask
annexation.
of him then, if we do deny your annexation, would you be happy to negotiate with the city to have our services?
I think the county would also have to be a party to that conversation since it's.
You're probably correct.
Interesting question, thank you for it. Again, the tenants we're wanting to attract are going to be better suited in a corporate boundary. One thing I didn't mention is the investment we're making, which is gonna be upwards of $50 million in just the building and the site itself. And I didn't do all the math, but the current assessed value, do you happen to have that on the property card there?
Yes. Let me see where we're down. Like I said, it's currently assessed at $367,300 and also gets a deduction because it's assessed over 2% of the value of farmland.
Okay.
So it gets an $18,000 deduction on top of that.
We will fall under the commercial classification or whatever the state does it.
Mhm.
And the assessed value after improvements will be well over, or if not $1 million, over $1 million in assessed values, which tie into the taxes. So it's a simpler, easier method to allow it to be annexed to pay for those directly through the property taxes that'll be collected, as opposed to doing some contractual relationship with the county where it would involve the county and then have to explain that to everybody who's doing the fire call or who's doing this. So that's the purpose, is most of the time circumstances facilitate the growth of a city by voluntary annexation. I hope I answered your
No,
question.
you're doing, may I ask you one more question?
It's up to them, it's their meeting.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
One more, yeah. Go ahead.
Yes.
We'll give you one more.
So, with that being said, I would like to know, when he does go about these projects and creates these buildings without pre-planned occupancy, I wonder what kind of occupancy he retains within like the first year. Does he get 90% occupancy, 70%? Does he find himself looking for
Very good question. We are doing, and I hate to separate these two, but I'll wait to the zoning to explain why we're doing the zoning now. That as it relates to the physical improvements, we will do it with the user. We're confident in the assets of not only the land, but what Seymour has to offer. It's an industrial corridor, and you guys are in the bullseye of commerce that's currently driving by. And we want to help attract a tier 1, tier 2, or a manufacturer that's driving right by you right now. And we want to attract those jobs. We obviously want to make the investment, and we want to see it go there. Absent of that, that land's going to sit idle. So
I don't
I'm not,
necessarily have a problem with that as a resident here.
I'm sure you don't, but
Right.
you can probably understand why we don't want to expire too much resources and time until that user is identified. But we can't identify a user yet and go out and market it and put our marketing team on this until we know we have zoning to land it. So,
Thank you.
did I answer your question?
I think you did. Well, thank
Yep,
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to talk about annexation? I know it's a pain to separate these two. I wish public hearings were farther down our agenda, but the way our agenda is designed was set up in 1987.
My name is Eric Mayfield. What's the difference between a resolution establishing a physical plan, which is your number A, and number B, an ordinance? So what's the difference between a resolution and an ordinance? What are you doing?
A resolution is a single vote, and ordinance is a double vote. Beyond that, I'll throw it to Chris because she's the attorney.
Sure. So state law sets out a certain process that has to be followed by municipalities for super voluntary annexations. And part of that process is for the city to develop a fiscal plan to analyze the fiscal impact, positive and negative, of annexing a parcel into its jurisdiction. And with that fiscal plan, state code requires us to pass or adopt that plan via resolution. And then a separate ordinance annexation is to be adopted to finalize the annexation via ordinance.
So you're gonna vote on both of them tonight?
Yes, sir. The fiscal plan resolution will just have one vote, and then at the next council meeting, the ordinance will get a second vote.
I still don't know if I
An
understand.
ordinance takes 2 meetings, resolution takes 1.
Takes 2 people.
Okay, but what's the difference? I still don't know if I understand the difference.
They're related. The resolution is just adopting the fiscal plan. Like we've seen this data and we are adopting this fiscal plan. The ordinance is to actually approve the annexation itself.
So what physical plan have you seen? I don't know. You've seen some plans? What kind of plans?
The fiscal plan is an analysis done on what kind of increased demand this parcel would have on police and fire and water pollution control, those sorts of things. How much money per year does the city anticipate spending should this be annexed versus how much money per year estimate, which it's difficult to do since it's ag land right now, but estimating how much like increase net AV and tax benefit the city would see.
Well, if we don't know what it is, how can you estimate?
We look at similarly zoned parcels in the area used for similar purposes.
But we don't know what it's gonna put in, so what do you mean?
We know generally
Industrial.
it's
It's gonna be industrial.
industrial.
If it's industrial, we look at an industrial basis. If it's R2, we look at an R2 basis. We compare similar properties to what we think it'll be.
So Bicknell is saying it's gonna be industrial? They're saying that now?
Bicknell is requesting that it be industrial, yes.
Okay.
Something I do that maybe helps unmuddy the waters. An ordinance tends to affect Seymour City code, and an annexation affects the boundaries of the city. That's why it has 2 votes.
Okay.
A resolution doesn't affect city code. It's just more of a general information that needs to be voted on as required by the state.
Okay. Well, if they say they're gonna spend $50 million, you have no idea what you're gonna build, but you know you're gonna spend $50 million?
That really falls into the rezone piece, but.
Into the what?
In the.
Would you like an answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, in our zoning petition, were you at the planning commission meeting?
I don't know, was that last week?
It's been a while, probably 2 months ago.
Probably not.
We filed with our planning application 2 sample plans that show what could be there, okay? In that, there was one big building, and then there was a master plan park development that had several little buildings. From that, we're able to ascertain that based on our clientele and what we do around the rest of the country, we're able to assess approximately what the investment is going to be in the property. We won't know for sure until we land that specific company or user, and what their improvements are will be in the building, if they have robotics, if they have automation or whatever. But we're guessing very conservatively the investment the company will make into this property will be $50 to $60 million, probably upwards by the time we're done.
So after you get the zoning, you're gonna shop it, in other words? You're gonna
Correct.
shop it to try and find somebody to come in.
Just as you would if you're gonna go build a house. Would you build a house on a land that's not zoned residential?
No.
What's your first step?
Mhm.
You're gonna zone the property, correct?
Mhm.
Then you're probably gonna buy design and then figure out how you're gonna build the house. It's the same situation. We are getting zoning in place so we have comfort that we can expire all the other resources, marketing, engineering time, and everything else to attract that user. So I hope I answered your question.
Maybe.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to talk about annexation?
Quick question, I just wanted to clarify prices. You said that they just bought it in 21 for 1.4 million.
Mm-hmm.
And they just now this year got the 2%, 18,000 off.
No.
That's
I
what's
mean,
showing on.
And maybe that is, I didn't look back that far. I'm just telling you what current
My question
assessed
is why
value.
did they buy it as a real estate company for 1.4 million in 21 and now it's only worth 36?
That's not what it's
360
worth. That's what the state law, you can only assess farm ground to a certain dollar value. So that's why it gets a
But they
credit.
get it assessed when they bought it to be 1.4 mil.
That's what they
wild.
thought. That was,
To me, that needs
that's what it went
investigated.
for at auction, I
To me,
believe.
it sounds like when the prices went up and everybody got the getting when the getting was good, we seen what happens, and this is why we're running into this situation. People shouldn't have been selling those properties for that high, and that's why rent's up. But that's all I just
Well, if somebody's willing to pay it, I mean, I don't know what, you know.
Anyone else to actually discuss annexation, or, yes, annexation? Because we'll move on to rezone, the very next item, if that's what your topics are.
We'll talk about annexation then.
Yeah,
Hi.
probably.
Sheila Mayfield. My question is, why are they putting it outside the city limits to where it would have to be annexed into the city. Don't we have room in any of the industrial parks around town to do it without?
Sheila, that's why they're requesting to be annexed, is to be in the city. I can't tell you why they chose this property, but in
Probably because they
2021, they
couldn't buy.
had an option to buy this, and they did.
They
Well,
probably
don't we
couldn't
have
have
any
bought
space
84
in the
acres.
industrial parks? We're gonna end up with industrial parks all the way around the city,
That
which I thought that was
that
the
is a
purpose.
question for the company, but
Yeah, I thought that was
we
the
can't
purpose
tell you
of
that piece 'cause we're
Burkhart,
not the
was to
ones
make
that
it
bought it.
easier to get to the industrial parks, which, as far as we're concerned, puts wear and tear on the roads that we live at south of the junction of 31 and 50. So when more and more trucks or just cars coming the back ways around town come through, then our roads, they're too narrow now. So it's kind of a pain in the butt to pass a semi on Farmington Road, but they all want to come that way. And the overpass over 65 is going to get more and more use, and it's already had to be fixed a couple of times because panels on the sides were pushing out. So how much more traffic is going to put the wear and tear on those roads, which were never meant for that much traffic? Thank you.
thanks, Sheila. Anyone else to speak on annexation? Hearing none, I will close the annexation public hearing. Mr. Bose, would you like to go to old business?
Sure. Old business, Mrs. Long.
None.
Mr. Maxey.
I do have. I'd like to introduce ordinance number 12, Council Bill number 30 by title only for third reading.
Second.
Mrs. Long.
Yes.
Mr. Maxey.
Yes.
Mr. Hubbard.
Yes.
Mr. Davidson. Mr. Lucas. Mr. Fry.
Yes.
Third reading of ordinance number 12, Council Bill number 30 for 2026, an ordinance to rezone property located at 11055 East US Highway 50, Seymour, Indiana. Planning and Zoning Committee, Mr. Maxey.
Yes, this is the rezone of the property we were all just discussing. We have Blair here from Becknell Industrial that can answer your questions a lot better than any of us. We do know for sure now there is no data centers, no junkyard. Those were several concerns we're getting. And then
No access off 500?
no access
well.
off the county road on the south
Those are
side.
commitments we made.
Do you want me to pull up your presentation?
No.
And then
I'm sorry.
the one other thing I kept getting was anything related to that intersection traffic road, if it has to change because of this development, that is responsible of the NDOT and the developer, or the cost of it, I guess. Does that fall to the developer, or does that fall to?
Is that a question?
Yes.
Okay, be happy to answer that.
Cool.
And thank you, Mayor and Council. If I may, I'm not going to go through the presentation that went through at Planning Commission, and I believe we presented that at first reading as well. For those that were at the Planning Commission meeting, it was very good, hearty discussion that discussed traffic, soil erosion, a whole bunch of flavors. We answered a 64-page questionnaire relating to how the property would be developed. But let me just do a brief recap, if I may. Again, my name Blair Carmesino with Becknell Industrials offices in Indianapolis, Indiana. We are the applicants for both the zoning and the annexation. The filings both require the owner of the property to be listed. That's why it's listed by somebody else as owning the property, because they still own the property.
Blair,
But
the audience is requesting 3 minutes, so I'll start
Okay,
that.
I'll
You'll
be real
answer a bunch
quick.
of questions after you get done.
The zoning is the first step in the process, as I explained to the gentleman earlier. We're not going to proceed unless we get zoning, nor would any company locate here. There's no secret in our approach. We're doing a speculative zoning so that we can market and attract a industrial user like you see up and down the corridors that is probably driving their goods right by it right now. The property is uniquely positioned. None of the roads we will access front are city roads. Yes, most of the traffic will go to 65. Yes, we have to do a traffic study, which we'll file with the city and share the findings with that. Improvements associated with that traffic study, as determined by NDOT, will be shared with the city, but NDOT has control. The Why Seymour? There was actually a post against the property that spoke to the exact same reasons we saw. Proximity, location, industrial, base, the workforce here. It's a diamond in the rough, and that's why we're trying to locate here. Finally, why don't we have a user? Time to market, people. We've been in this zoning process now, what, 3 months, 2 months, 2.5 months? Users these days, when they decide to move their real estate to a community, to a city, they need to know they can get in their building within probably 12 to 20 months, depending on the user. If we started this with the user in tow, they would have said, not Seymour. We need to have zoned property. Now, that's not saying we're skipping out on entitlements, as I spoke to in Planning Commission and first reading. There is a process, and you guys have a great code that'll take us through the ringer to demonstrate that they will meet every one of your codes, all state rules and requirements. Plans go to the state. So once that user is identified, yes, we'll go through another process. But to get the zoning starts it, and that's why we can't identify who it is. I don't know where I am on time, but I'll stop there and be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you've done this in the past, correct, in similar areas with a similar
Absolutely.
demographic? Okay. So what happens to the houses that are near? What happens to the assessed value of their houses? Have you known to go up or go down with that industrial in close proximity to where they live? Are they going to lose money on their homes because you're building right there?
It's
yes
all,
or no? Yes or no?
It's not a yes or no question. We've seen some cases where the property values have gone up.
Majority of cases.
Probably property values go up.
Go up.
Where we
I'd like
see
to
them go
that.
down.
I'd like to see
Audience.
Audience. Please show respect to the
Yes.
speaker.
And that's our experience. You asked me, what is our experience?
I would like, if you have that experience, I would like for you to send me the information that you have. I'd like to see that.
Okay.
That would be great. Thank you.
All right.
I have a question, Larry.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain who King Royal Realty?
That is the owner of the property.
That's strictly just the owner of the property that will have no ties to the.
No, we have a purchase agreement with them.
Okay.
And in that purchase agreement, it spells out the price, the terms and conditions of buying it. There's no other ties other than realizing that we cannot file for annexation and zoning without being the owner of the property. All of those purchase agreements typically include a consent. And if you go back and look at our file history at the Planning Commission, you'll see a properly completed application, maybe Christina can speak to this, that include that consent. They are solely the owners of the property that are looking to sell it. So we have no other ties with them.
They relinquish all ownership and.
They will if we close, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I got a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
You said you didn't want to spend your money on marketing and all that, but correct me if I'm wrong, don't you already have this property listed on your site as listed I-2 and for lease?
We do.
Okay.
We do. And we did that as simple keystrokes on the computer. Now, if we knocked on Toyota's door, have we knocked on GE's door, have we knocked on any of our other tenants or our clients' doors to say, look what we have? No. We're compiling all the demographics and all that information, which is on hold until we get through zoning.
But do you see where that's putting the cart before the horse?
No, because we have it under contract.
Okay.
Darren,
Have it under contract.
I have a question. Do you know how many acres of land we have on that east side industrial, like out by Iceland?
No, I don't off the top of my head, no.
Have they looked into any of the stuff that's already zoned industrial that we have? I think we have ample acreage that's already zoned industrial in our community, do we not?
There is some vacant industrial ground, but.
That you could fit there if needed? It has enough acreage?
But the uniqueness of this piece is what we like. The uniqueness being its proximity to 65.
I understand,
the
but
proximity being
what they like, what our
utility.
city likes, what our people like, is farmland, not
Fair
industrial right in their back door.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The fact, if you really love Seymour as a location, there is other places located in Seymour. 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
You're
right?
hitting the nail on the head why we're here tonight.
Okay.
This is a vote on desired land use of the town. And that's
I
it.
appreciate that. It
So,
is desired land, it also is
And you
desired land for
stated
them.
what you believe the town wants.
I
so
do, absolutely, 100%.
Fair enough. I think we've made a good argument that the highest and best use for this
In
is
your opinion.
industrial.
In your
So,
opinion, not in theirs, not in mine.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council?
None.
If we're gonna take questions from the audience, I figure most people that signed in on this list, that's why they're here to talk, so I'm gonna go down the list and start there. Is that acceptable to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Everhart?
I'll make it short. Thank you for the second opportunity. Just so people know, for many years, I was a site selector. And I did site selection and site planning, much like similar to what these folks did. I never did it in this fashion. But let me go over quick stats, facts that I put together based on my experience and based on math. And this is important to the city, whether it's annexed and rezoned or it becomes industrial commercial. Given a 1-inch rain, given the area of roof that was supplied on this drawing, which is the only thing I had to go on, 1-inch rain will deliver 565 plus thousand gallons of water. Now, when I was active in it, US EPA required capture of the first flush, which is the first 1 inch. So if you get a 2-inch rain, there's 565,000 gallons plus going somewhere. That's just from the roofs. That does not include paved areas. That does not include sidewalks, graveled areas, and even lawns or grass, because they all have an effluent discharge rate that you have to calculate in as part of a permitting process. But if the city annexes this, sounds like they will, and they probably will rezone it, then the city's going to have to contend or have some kind of an agreement, how you going to handle this stormwater that's eventually going to discharge to these people's property. It's going to discharge to Muscatatuck, possibly back up on the refuge, or even the residents of Mutton Creek. There's massive amounts of water that when that property becomes roofed, that someone is going to see and someone's going to have to deal with. And you really, I would recommend that you discuss this now and get something in agreement now, because when it's there and it's flowing across property and roads and highways, it's a little bit late to address it. Thank you very much.
I'll give Blair a chance to respond to that in just a second, but I will point out that building code covers exactly that, Chip. So it's already in the code, what we do with water when it comes off of a developed property. What is not in code is what we do with water when it comes off of farm ground.
This is a little different location.
Code declares how you deal with water, how you treat it as it's leaving.
All right, Mayor.
I mean, it does. So
Understand.
farm ground, on the other hand, we don't control how it comes off there. So this actually gives
absorbs in, recharges the aquifer.
this actually gives us the chance to control how the water flows away. But Blair, would you like to respond to that at all?
If I may, or I can write them all down and respond at one time, your preference.
Go ahead. You might pull a seat up closer though if you're going to respond a lot.
Thank you for the question. We spoke at length at Planning Commission on this. Some of the adjoining neighbors were there. I got 64 questions that I had to answer presented by the neighbors, a lot focused on drainage. Mayor is correct. The current codes generated by the state, implemented by the cities, require that we reduce the runoff rate from the site from a post-development to a pre-development condition. You sound like you're familiar with frequency of storms, right?
Yes.
So we are required, and you can look
In
it
9
up.
different states.
Okay, you can look it up at the Seymour Stormwater Ordinance. We're required, and I don't quote me on the exact change, but like a 10-year storm, pre-develop, or post-development has to go to a 2-year storm in pre-development. They are religious about this. They've been implementing these for over probably 30 years, my whole career, where you have to prove the engineering of this. And we intend to follow every one of those to the, if not exceed them, to every single letter of the law, as we do in all our other developments.
You know, the last few years, we've had 2 or 3 25-year storms, 1 50-year storm.
You're right. One of the questions asked, are you going to guarantee that we will never get flooded? You know what my answer was? No, I can't guarantee that because water comes from every direction. What I can guarantee is that we will control the water that hits our site before it runs off. We'll control it both for quantity and quality per local ordinance and state requirements. So.
Mr. Bose, back to you.
Mr. Ferris, Steve Ferris, do you speak? No? Okay. Jan Ferris?
Can I say something? I'm not a speaker, so bear with me.
Come on up, though. That way you're.
Live off of 50.
Come on up, so you're recorded.
Goodness gracious.
I hate to do it, but people complain when you don't. They can't hear you.
Not
So.
loud enough, I think.
Well, no, it's the ones at home that can't hear you.
We live off of 50. And yes, it's in Jennings County in Hayden, but there are so many trucks, so many Walmart trucks and semis. It takes us 15, 20 minutes just to get onto 50. Since we've been there, the traffic has doubled. And then you come into the junction, we're backed up past Mutton Creek just to get through lights. Then you've got Walmart trucks coming going all the time. Now you've got the truck wash on the opposite side of this property. I think, isn't Rose Acres building something again on the other side? And you've got the Walmart trucks trying to get in one lane. You've got the truck stop. Something's going to have to be done there in the junction if you're going to have take a beautiful spot of property and whatever, we don't even know what it's going to be. So I'm just saying the traffic, something's going to have to be done if you're going to allow this to happen. It's a shame.
Like Blair stated, NDOT will do a study and dictate to them what needs to be done.
Here we go again. It's always a ghost. You know, it's like we never know what's going to happen. Just a shame.
Blair, do you want to add anything to that one?
If I can correct you, we're responsible for the study. NDOT, we've made contact with them. We'll have to do a scoping meeting, check the intersections. So.
Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Bose.
Rick, starts with a Z. I'm not going to try to say it.
Come on, I knew Zedrick. Rick, before you start.
Yep, some of you already heard this
Nope,
4 times, so I'll skip those
Hang on
parts.
1 second. I wanted to clarify something.
Okay.
I was not going to 3-minute limit Blair because I felt like he could probably answer some of your questions before you got up. But since you requested, I did.
We just don't feel unfair that he gets half hour and we get 3 minutes.
But
so
he's
just-
still getting a
I
half
know-
hour because he gets to
I
respond to all
understand.
of you now instead of getting some of it done.
I
So
apologize.
back to you though, Rick.
Okay. My name's Rick Zedrick. My wife and I have raised a family here on 500. We're on the south side of this property. I'm opposed due to the lights, noise, traffic on 31 and 50, and most important, runoff and possible contamination of wells, property values decreasing. We are downhill from the site. I went to Charleston, Indiana, population 8,000, last week on a fishing trip. I drove by a massive industrial park, and I was like, wow, this is very nice layout. Big buildings, beautiful place. They weren't intruding on any residentials. I drove slow, went back by it. Charleston has population 8,000, Seymour has 22, but of course they draw labor from Louisville, New Albany, Jeff, and all that. They are several miles from 265. It doesn't hurt a 70 building complex, so I don't know, that's the same distance from our industrial park to the interstate. In 2025, they had $3.6 billion in economic impact, 13,300 jobs, 57.5 million in local and state tax revenue. 70 companies, including high-tech jobs, medical companies, aerospace, defense companies. Their logo says, growth doesn't happen in theory. It says it's built in places that are built for it. That's exactly what it says, in places that are built for it. Impressive complex with great vision, which is what Seymour needs. Not spot zoning for this and that, but develop our industrial parks. So I went to Seymour's industrial sites. They have a good website. It says we have Seymour Commerce Park. I didn't realize they named that. And it's connecting the east side with the road. There's an 84-acre build site available there, it said on the website. These are near 50 and I-65. Why not here? We have Burkhardt Opportunity Zone near Eastside Industrial Park. We have Freeman Field Industrial Park with an airport. Why not here? This is the vision that you need to look to for the future as Seymour's competitive industrial park. Work with Billings to consider this. Why would you build an industrial park and not use it? Why tuck it in? Why tuck this property in between two busy highways, a refuge, and a residential area? Develop our industrial parks. Blair said he wants to be in a corporate area. We have corporate areas ready. He wants to be an industrial corridor. We're an industrial corridor. He says he has a marketing team. Market team work with our industrial parks.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks. Please vote no for this.
Blair, anything you want to respond with that one?
No, sir, I'll write it down if I can request time at the end.
Yep, that's fine.
Next up, we have Larry Carpenter.
I'm good.
Good, okay. Then we have Karen Carpenter, I assume.
Karen Campbell.
Okay. It just said Karen, but there was a dot after. I didn't know we tried to.
I promise. If you want us to leave quickly, I'll start singing. Everybody will leave real quick. Karen Campbell Jones, just real quick, most of the stuff that I was going to say has already been answered. But you made a question about the values of the property. I found a thing online. It says, due to increased noise level of up to 10 decibels, can decrease a home's value by 5 to 10% with overall property devaluation. And it's varying by source and stuff like that. Heavy road noise, it can go up to even more than that. But it says mainly it is from factories and commercial zones. So that's just, something I wanted to throw in there. And I know I said it before. And about the annex, I know that supposedly it's not going to do anything with taxes and all that, but it did say a company annex paves the way for broader city-initiated annex of the surrounding areas later on, which would introduce city property taxes and caps for nearby residents. So I was kind of questioning. I forgot I had that down, so I would have got up on that. So that's all I got to say.
I can answer that one for you real quick. Go ahead, Dan.
I have a question. I don't disagree with you. It brings property values down if you have a higher noise area. How many homes do you think would be affected?
That I'm not honestly sure. I just know we're concerned right now with our roads, but could even go into Mutton Creek, I would think. Okay. I mean, depending on how loud it is, since we don't know, we can't answer.
Yeah, well, I figure you probably knew how many homes that were in that area.
On ours, there's seven on 500 North.
You think there'd be 7 affected by noise?
Oh, absolutely. It runs all the way down through us.
Okay, thank you.
So back to your annexation thing, the state over the years, and I think this is probably because of Bloomington, Jim, has made it almost impossible for us to annex anything without it being super voluntary at this point. We annexed in 22,
right before the law changed.
And I can tell you that it's not a process I care to go through ever again because it was a nightmare. The state keeps adding regulations to it year after year. Jim, I believe you voted yes on most of those.
Cities were going around taking property people didn't want them to take.
And it just makes it almost impossible for cities to annex at this point. Will that change in 20 years? Possibly, but right now it is a nightmare. So just to give you some idea what that looks like. Cindy?
Huh?
Is that Cindy?
No, it's Karen Campbell,
Karen. Okay, sorry.
not Carpenter Campbell.
I remembered that part. I couldn't remember your first name.
Kevin Kaplan.
Okay. If I'm reading that over, I didn't know that. Sure.
Thank you.
There you go, Darren.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir.
So Indiana code stipulates 5 things that this council is supposed to consider to determine their vote. The first, this Indiana code 36-74603. The first thing is a comprehensive plan. At best, they have a build-to-suit plan, and they say we're going to do this and we're going to do that. That's not a comprehensive plan, in my opinion. Current conditions and characteristics of structures in each use, that can be subjective. The most desirable use for the land, that's kind of subjective. Here's what's not. The conservation of property values throughout the jurisdiction. So Mutton Creek's sitting at about 200 homes. And I think they said there's 5, whatever, okay? So that's a lot of homes. The property values are going to decrease, and what I'm being told by multiple real estate people is anywhere from 3 to 10%. It's not desirable. And responsible development and growth. Now, along with what I've emailed you guys, and then you see the letter there from a local DNR officer, I don't call that responsible. And now you're also at that point infringing on federal wildlife reserve. That traffic study I sent you, over 10,800 vehicles per day is the 2025 annual average daily traffic count for that spot. Any kind of plan from NDOT is not going to be local. It's going to have to go up to Indianapolis. I don't think they realize what it's going to take to make that happen, if it can happen. It's a vote no. I don't see how you can read these 5 things for that Indiana code and vote yes in good conscience. So I ask for a no vote.
Kevin, I'll go back to the very first item there. The comprehensive plan piece is actually the comprehensive plan of the city, not of the property. So the city comprehensive plan does show this as being industrial or commercial in the long run. And it's been that way since probably the late 90s.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
that's not actually the individual property. It's what it is on the comp plan.
Understood. Thank you for
Yep.
clarifying.
No problem. Okay, back to you, Mr. Bose.
Mark Patrick.
Property is classified as cash drain and general.
Thank you. Initially, the local people, or the adjacent property owners, there were probably maybe 10 of us that were notified by a letter. So we've been to all the meetings. We went to the plan meeting, plan commission, and all these meetings. I have yet to hear one person get up here and say that they were in favor of this. Not one person. Nobody here is in favor of this except for Becknell representative. So I just don't know how you can approve this when there's so much opposition to it. And part of the problem is just not knowing what it is. You know, the same thing happened with Vital Farms. We didn't know what it was. It was going to be some company growing native grasses or whatever it was. I think they just kept it secret because they wanted to get it passed. They got shut down in Ripley County, didn't get approved there. So, I don't know why it has to be so secretive. And this is, I don't know, did you all have to sign any non-disclosures? Anybody here? So, I don't know why it has to be so, top secret. And that site is, I have a extremely 50 years in construction, okay? So that site is probably one of the worst sites that I can imagine doing a footprint of 1 million square foot building on a site that's 40 feet in change in elevation. You have to move 1 million yards of dirt, probably several million. You're going to be down in the aquifer. You're going to cut right through. We all have wells out there, so, and they're shallow wells. You'll be cutting into the aquifer, and it's going to ruin their wells. There's no doubt about it. So, and then another thing is, if this deal falls through between them and King Royal, what does King Royal, they can come in here and do whatever they want. They own the property. They can change it. Just because you all said no junkyard or no data center, it's not big enough for a data center, but, what's to stop them from applying for some other type of, maybe not near as good as, or $50 million investment. We don't know what can be built there. It just doesn't make sense until we know what the project actually would be. So I'm just not in favor of this at all. Nobody here is, I don't think. Nobody's got up to be in favor of it. So I think you should vote no. Thank you.
Is there air on in here?
I assume it is, yes, it was earlier.
It feels like heat's come on.
It's like 3 degrees now.
Yeah, it got hot.
Karen, next speaker, Karen Jones.
Well, that was me.
Oh,
I'll go ahead, no.
no, that's all right.
Okay, I guess we're back to the Campbell one.
Okay.
Can I go now too? That's you too.
Karen Carr, yeah. Whatever the one without a name was.
Well, there was one with Karen with no last name. And like I
Okay.
said, it looked like it had the marks for, copying from the line above. How about, Blair, did you want to speak afterwards? Oh, this is,
Yes, afterwards.
okay,
I'll gather the notes.
okay. Bobby,
I'm good.
okay.
With me.
Ashley Grizzle, you want to talk about flock cameras, so we'll do that under miscellaneous.
I can wait.
Okay. Jim Lucas.
I come up here before you tonight, I'm begging you guys to not vote for this. I was born and raised in Seymour and live here. And all that time, and I even sat on council many, many years ago, you guys have got to quit rubber stamping things you don't know that's coming through here. Because what we're seeing, we just heard from Miss Barley right now. Jackson County is at full employment right now, 2.9%. That's statistically full employment. Yet 37% of our workforce is either at or just above poverty level. So that means the jobs that you guys are rubber stamping aren't paying enough to raise a family in Seymour. Now I've got the stats here from our schools, our school systems. Less than 17% of our 8th grade passed the math and ELA combined. Less than 20% of our 8th grade passed the math only. State average is 42%. Okay? Less than 25% of the grades combined passing the ELA. Our schools are overwhelmed. We're bringing in cultures that are working for less. They're bringing down wages. And Ms. Barley just proved that. Housing costs are going up because we're seeing cultures, and this isn't a racist thing. Everybody knows this. Cultures are living multiple families, multiple individuals in a single taxing unit. Now the city says they want tax revenue, but they're going to turn right around and ask you guys for a tax abatement. So that kind of goes against the grain. We've got Burkhart Bypass right there that we built, spent millions of dollars on to make easy access to the industrial sites we already have. Not to mention the traffic that's been brought up out there. Try driving down 50 on Friday afternoon. The wrecks that are there, okay, the people are getting hurt. And then you got, from here to North Vernon, it's a 2-lane highway that you cannot pass on. So that's only going to exacerbate that. And not only, that is not the spot for an industrial complex that nobody knows what the hell's gonna go.
Get to the last vote, but you did vote in favor of it when it was probably the first time.
Because we're seeing cities like this destroy communities because
So
you've
you're
got these
taking
big.
away our
they're-
control?
They're a national.
You're making it easier for them to do what they want to do?
How
That's
so?
what all three of these did. They took our control away and made it so that state gets to very simply go, yep, that's a level 4 or 3 farm,
You
whatever
said
it
yourself
is.
earlier, Mayor, because of Bloomington, we had to step in and do some things.
You had to step in and make it easier?
How's
That's
it
what
easier?
all three of
You guys
these have
still have-
done.
do you
They've
not-
done away with local control and made it easier for companies to walk in. We don't get the ability as councils, as local government, because you have taken those away with those votes.
All you have to do is vote no or vote yes. How's
They
that
can
taking away
vote
your
no or
control?
yes, but when you take away those controls like
The
you did
control been
this
taken
year,
away, Mayor, if you can still vote on it.
because you deregulated part of this. You
How-
made things
how's
easier.
your control been
You
taken
tried to
away
make
if
it
you can
easier
still
for
vote on
data
it?
centers to come in.
Why are you here? Why are we here if you can't vote on it?
You made it easier for companies like Becknell
No, it's up to
not
these
have
6
this problem.
councilmen. Nobody's
Yeah.
telling them how they can or can't vote.
I encourage you to go back and make sure that when you're in Indy this year, you vote the way you're standing here talking. Because you're giving us an impassioned speech, but you're going to Indianapolis and you're voting the opposite, Jim.
Answer me this. Can this council vote yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you.
They can vote yes or no. Would they have had more control if you hadn't made it easier for them? Yes, they would have.
I'll ask you again, Mayor. Can this council vote yes or no?
And they have less control than they did 6
Can
months
they
ago.
vote yes or no?
And they have less control than 6 months ago because of your votes in Indianapolis.
How?
Go read them. Have a seat.
Let's stick to the point. You can vote yes or
Mayor's
no.
wrong.
Yeah, he's wrong.
No.
He's wrong.
This council can vote yes or no, but they have less control because you voted yes in Indianapolis.
I don't think that you should be yelling at him and then telling him to sit down. Mayor.
If he's
I
gonna,
don't think
if
you-
he's gonna spin around,
Order at me? He's
Order.
screaming at the audience.
if he's gonna spin around and address the audience, do you think I'm not gonna address that?
You are not gonna yell at him and tell him to sit down
And-
and then continue to yell at him. Show him the same respect.
Okay, so here we go. I'll make this simple. Quiet! I will make this simple. You have taken away control from local government with these votes. Yes, they can still vote yes or no, but they don't have as much control as they did when you went to Indianapolis in January.
Got nothing to do with the curse.
Hey,
It has everything to do with the current. If you're going to stand up and say this, make sure you vote this way in Indy, Jim. That's what I'm asking you.
If they vote
No.
yes, can I finish?
I'm telling Mom.
If this council votes yes, it goes forward, correct?
Yep.
Thank you.
And if this council votes no, it doesn't go
What controls have we
forward.
lost? What controls have we lost?
We have lost controls when it comes to what farm ground can be used for.
Thank you, Dave.
Although that was 1333, if I'm not mistaken, which that one, even though Jim voted yes, may have got shot down because the Senate pulled it. Eric Cook was the leader of that
I'd
one.
like to later on visit.
Yeah, I'll be glad to give it to you after the meeting. Back to you.
Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you, Danielle.
It appears to be, I don't know if it's Donna or David Stanley.
It's going to be gridlock in Seymour. Now, at one of the meetings, there was talking about possibly making 54 lane, and I think I heard Blake mention that Becknell might fix some of that. But then I thought tonight I'm hearing maybe Seymour would fix that, but I don't think Seymour has any interest in widening Highway 50.
It's a state highway.
It's a state highway.
They don't give us much control.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Good point.
I don't think Seymour would want to afford that. But anyway, I strongly believe we should not permit or encourage more truck traffic on Highway 50 right there without having a wider highway. It's dangerous. Thank you.
Eric Mayfield. Pardon me? Oh.
Trying to decide if I got anything to say here. I guess I've heard rumors, and we might as well ask that gentleman if they're true or false. Have you guys tried to buy any of those small lots around, along 31 to do anything else to combine that? He can answer in a minute, I don't care.
I was gonna say, he can add it to his notes.
Might be a wrong rumor, but I've heard, and if he is trying to buy the lots around along 31Y, and I know that lady addressed the 50 stuff, but and I don't know if how good these plans are, but this is showing they're wanting to come off two places on 50. Do you have any plans of coming off on 31 too?
You want me to address that now or with the end?
It's up to you. I would like him to get through all of his questions though versus, and then you can address his whole question set.
Well, some gentleman said that he thought this was too small for a data center. What I've Googled, you can put a data center on 20 acres, 5 acres, whatever, and I know you're saying you're putting in there no data center. So is there any other word that they can use and say, we're putting in something else that's almost the same than a data center? Can you call it a resource center? Well, we're not putting in a data center, it's a resource center. So is there any way they can beat around the bush and put something like a data center in there, but they're not calling it a data center?
They call it military installation.
I'm just asking. You
Yes,
guys,
as good as I know.
we cover all our bases, you know. Are we being tricked? All right, thanks.
Blair? Blair, you still want to just wait for the end, or you want to address any of that now? Okay.
I still got a spot on my paper.
Yep. Mr. Bose?
Jerry Polly.
Oh, I thought I was signing the paper just to enter here, I'm sorry.
We'll let you in without signing, Jerry.
Here, I'll say something.
He's leaving, he's staying,
So it's kind of like a
okay.
two-part question, I guess, something for you. You said it could possibly, what you've seen, it raises property values, is that correct?
We've seen that in cases, yes.
So if a property value is raised, let's say you live there and your house right now is valued at $180,000. Let's say they show up and now it's all of a sudden a $300,000 home. How does that affect your taxes?
Depends on if the assessor assesses it.
Okay.
We don't control that side.
Right.
That's county.
So I guess my next question is, he said also that more than likely it's going to be industrial, is that correct?
That's what they're asking for.
Kind of like Jim Lucas said, you know, he kind of hit on where he said it was a diamond in the rough. Okay, so in the past 20 years, we brought in manufacturing jobs. It's just little pay. I mean, why are we doing that? Why are we pimping our town out for just little pay? Why does everything have to be industrial? Can we have something that's a little higher paying jobs?
I-2 is the zoning. That could be everything from technology to manufacturing to warehousing. I mean, there's all kinds of choices under I-2.
Mm-hmm.
So
is this something, the council, is this something that the city looks at? Like, you know, we want to go after a more tech job to come here? A more high-paying job?
That would be
Because
more
everything
along-
we
that
get,
would
like
be more
Vital
in the
Farms, they
industrial
came here and
development.
blew smoke up your all's ass saying it's a 27, I think they said it was $27.50 average. That's not what they're paying for just an employee that goes in there for 40 hours a week. That's an average from, you know, all the employees. So why do we keep bringing in stuff that just doesn't pay anything? You know, I mean, like Jim said, people's leaving this town. Our kids ain't staying here because there's no opportunities because everything's industrial. $15 to $18 an hour. I mean, where's that end at? You know, I mean, we have to have something to keep people here. I guess what I'm asking is, why don't we go after higher paying jobs instead of
we do
the industrial?
I can tell you from my experience, we do go after higher paying jobs.
And we're just not landing them, or what?
Some of them land, some of them don't land. The new Rose Acres that somebody complained about a minute ago is research and development, which should be higher paying jobs. So, I mean, we go after higher stuff. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we don't.
I can understand that. I respect that. But I just think all we do is we keep bringing manufacturing jobs here. And it's just, like Jim said, we're poverty level, you know? Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.
Tyler, you still here?
Yeah.
Do you want to speak? Okay.
All right.
Back to Blair.
Back to me?
Yes, back to you.
Just a second. Darren, did you see that one I added to the
Oh, I'm
bottom of the
sorry.
paper?
No. Barry Huff.
Sorry, he came up to me and wanted to add it.
Okay. I saw you write it and then lost it.
So I don't have any really prepared remarks for you today, but I don't know, about 2 months ago, I went to a meeting in Jefferson County, Indiana. It was on the data center at the Proving Ground. And it was actually a more raucous meeting than today. As you can imagine, there was a lot of people there that were not in favor of the data center. And then I think pretty soon after that, all of you fine folks over there voted yes to move that forward. So, yeah, I've been thinking for a long time now that the thing that's going to kill the country is political corruption and corporate greed.
Yes.
And I think that's, if you had to put something on the tombstone for America, that's what should go on there. And I know in my lifetime, I've begun to lose faith in government at all levels. And I think what's happening, like with the councils, even at this level, when you ignore the will of the people and you vote yes, like they did in Jefferson County, Indiana, that's kind of putting one more nail in the coffin of the country. Every time that happens. Every single time.
Amen.
So I think representative democracy, I think Jim, right? So when we elect people to speak for we the people, and you stab us in the back, you go for higher taxes, you're also, I can hear the footsteps of the next American Revolution right now. My dad said it was going to happen before he died. The one question I have, because I live in the county, I don't live in the city, but all of the benefits that are supposed to be bestowed upon the county, there's going to be costs too. You talked about the storm sewers, the highway development. Can we say right now that the county residents, the residents of this county, their property taxes are not going to go up because of this project? Can anybody assure us of that?
The value of this property will actually make your property taxes go down, but there's lots of studies that explain that. I'll leave it at that. So.
Okay, so that's been studied,
so net
and that's your answer.
Net assessed value, when it goes up, means that your property taxes actually go down. You add 50 million or whatever the project ends up being, that will raise your net assessed value, and then in turn, because of state regulation, you're only allowed to grow X number of percent every year. Then in turn, what happens is your rate goes down, not a ton, but slightly. So
I think, like I said, I think the time to save the country and the representative form of government is short. So please take your jobs and your duties seriously.
Thanks, Barry.
And then Blair, did you want to respond to the questions you have on your list?
If I may, I'll be brief as possible, getting through all these. I hope I captured everything. First comment dealt with drainage, and I think I answered yours on the drainage.
Well, you addressed it.
Okay, I addressed your comment. We'll get out Dixie cups after this. All right, second one I have written down is the competing land and the other lands. You guys have an inventory probably of 2 to 5 years of industrial ground. The airport ground you have to lease from Port Authority. Not too many companies want to come in and have a third party come in and lease. Not a very competitive industrial park. Suits some, but some of the big manufacturers. Noise levels, as I pointed out in Planning Commission, we are subject to the code and the ordinance that has specific noise level controls. And I'm guessing, and I can't say this as a fact, but I'm guessing you're probably subject to more noise by the traveling traffic existing on 31 and 50 than what would be generated from this site. Let's see. Responsible growth was mentioned. Well, yeah, I don't envy your guys' spots, but you do have to have a community with responsible growth. We are seeing communities throughout the state that did not practice responsible growth, that did not weigh what their assessed value of industrial ground was versus what their assessed value of residential was. I don't know if your comp plan did that, but there's a balance to be studied that says you have to have X amount of industrial or AV of industrial office, and office is a dead market these days, by the way, and you have to have X percentage of industrial. Keep your property taxes level to pay for the schools, to pay for the all the public services. This project, being industrial, will not put a load on the schools, will not put a load on the libraries, will provide assessed value, as the mayor briefly spoke to, and does so with no disturbance to existing utilities. Utilities are right there.
Sir, with all due respect, we have ample industrial spots.
Okay.
Ample, right?
And maybe that
so
balance
this sounds
is...
a little bit more to me like a little bit more of backdoor bargains and making money on the side than it does what's best. I feel like you're looking to chase the dollar at these people's expense.
I appreciate your concern, but I would ask you to chime down the accusations of backdoor bargaining.
It's my opinion.
We have
And that's why
nothing
I'm
to...
here. It's for my opinion and my vote.
So be it, but I have opinions too, and I'm not sharing them. I'm explaining. So, my opinions I won't express at this point, but I'll tell you what I believe. Traffic was raised. We have to, and if you want me to cut off at 3, that's fine, but I'm trying to answer.
No, you all ask him tons of questions. Let him answer them. Do you want answers or do you not?
Traffic was brought up. As I indicated at Planning Commission, we are responsible for the traffic study. The road has 2 state frontages. We would be responsible, or the project will be the burden for any improvements deemed necessary by the traffic study that NDOT will approve. We will share with the city. And in our experience, they're pretty thorough in making sure the traffic flows at completion of the projects. One question is the use. If not industrial, what? Are you going to deny a gentleman a right to sell his property? Is that a reoccurring thread in the town now? But if you look at the other uses, residential loads the schools, loads the libraries, creates more traffic than industrial would. Assessed values are lower. Go through them all, commercial, retail. That's why we came to the conclusion that the highest and best use for this property, because it's where it's positioned, is industrial. You guys may find another conclusion, but that is how we concluded things.
Blair, how long has this piece of property been for sale, do you know?
Do you recall, Bobby?
It's been on the market for roughly 2 years. Before that, a landscaping speculator purchased it.
Yes. Okay. Could you hear that?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Some gentleman asked about the 2 houses. Who raised that question at the site? You have 2 houses that are in the site.
They're along 31.
Front the site, surrounded by our property.
Yep.
We'd love to talk to those people. If they're interested in selling, we will talk to them.
buy them?
I'm sorry?
You're trying to buy them?
If they want to sell, we will talk to them.
So you haven't talked to them yet?
No. But if they want to sell, we will talk to them. You had another question about, I think it was access points too, correct?
Yeah, on your map, I'm assuming this is your map, you got 2 accesses going out on 50,
We've been told by NDOT we can access 31 or 50. But until they get this traffic study and until we get their plans finalized, and NDOT may restrict and say you can only have 1 here and here. But we won't find that out until we submitted our report.
So you're trying to get 1 on 50 and 1 on 31, or?
We are trying to get 2 ingress egress. Whether 1 on 50, we can live with either. But the 2 are necessary for ingress egress and meeting fire. No data center. We committed to no data center. Somebody define a data center for me, and I'll put it in there. It's not currently defined in your code. If you want to put down a data center as a facility that is, I don't know, fill in the blank. Define it. We'll review it and put it in as a prohibition. Property values we touched on. I will do my best to dig up the pros and cons that we've seen. I'm not denying property values have not decreased, but there has been situations where they've been increased by development. And once the property's been stabilized, because right now, if you don't do industrial, what is it? These residents still have no idea what's going in the farm field next to them.
Go farmland.
They're gonna have fields to feed people.
You're right. And finally, I'll close with this. I've seen towns that if you're not growing, you're dying. I know it's a cliche, but we witness it. And there's towns begging for industrial development, for an assessed value to get it. It may not be Seymour. I don't envy your positions. This is a discussion on appropriate land use. Thank you for your time tonight and your time over the last 2 months. Appreciate it.
Any others?
Mary Huff, I came up, wanted to speak.
I belong in the county, but I just looked up what are other names for data centers. And my name's Rachel Taylor. I live south of the county, or south in the county. Data center, server room, telecom facility, IT infrastructure, cloud computing, hosting facility, server farm, computing center, co-location, edge node, and I also heard military installation. And then I went to the website and it says most of the industrial things are more like pharmaceuticals, bioengineering things. So we're looking at that drainage going into the sewer, and those chemicals cause cancer. And the electrical area of that area, you have so much electrical frequencies going through the area, it hurts your cellular composition as people. Like, it won't even let people get pregnant if they want to get pregnant because of all that electrical going around that industrial. Don't we have enough there? And if we have to rent it out in the other industrial area that you rent from, wherever that is, the airport area, I don't know what this stuff's called, but do that. Make money for the city and the county. Don't just sell a property because it's been on the block for 2 years. You have people living right there, and they've already allocated area for it. Doesn't make any sense at all. Like, you are hurting the community. And like that young man said about our country, when you have political people doing corruption, you're putting the nails in the coffin of our country. It's just idiocy to stupid.
Rachel, what was your last name, please?
Taylor.
Taylor. The last person I have on the list to speak on this topic is May Huff.
Okay. I'm assuming the mic, okay.
Yeah, the mic's
So, I talked to the county and city council when they did the Jefferson Proving Grounds because we have 150 acres about 10 miles from there. And I would just like to say, being one of the few 26-year-olds in that building and actually taking the time to go to that meeting, and also this is my first meeting of this kind in Seymour, but the one thing I always notice within city and county councils is that they're full of older people that tend to generally will not see the consequences of the things that they vote on. And I'm afraid that's what I'm going to have to deal with, and my cousins are going to have to deal with the third largest hyperscale data center. And I worry that is what might happen here. I know it's not a data center, so I have a simple question for the representative of Bicknell. I know it's zoned industrial, but is there an approximation of how many and what kind of jobs this will bring? And he might have mentioned that, and I might have just not heard it earlier.
Yes, we can approximate, but it depends on the type of user. if they have automation, if they don't have automation. In general, the employee counts go based on a per square foot. And a lot of the utilities were based on estimated employee counts, you know, as for sizing sewer. So it could be anywhere from 1 to 1,000 down to 1 to 500 per square foot. In this case, that would equate to 2,000 or lower, maybe 3,000. Actually, until we find a tenant, we don't know.
So about 2,000 unique jobs.
2,000 jobs. Now,
Okay.
I don't know what you classify as unique, but if you look at any manufacturing use, there's a
2,000
variety.
individuals. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just leave this here for my last minute that I have. I told Jim Lucas, like, about 2 months ago at the property tax meeting that 5 out of 10 fourth graders can't read 5 out of 10 fourth graders cannot read or pass statewide testing. 7 out of 10 eighth graders are not proficient in math. So I don't know where these jobs are coming from. But when a 26-year-old like me, who has 2 bachelor degrees, STEM degrees, I almost have no faith in the children of our county, state, or even nation to provide these jobs. So I'm left to wonder who is going to fulfill these jobs.
Robots.
Or H-1B visas, or etc. All right, thank you.
Matt, can I reply on something he just said? Well, I
Yeah,
understand.
normally we don't, but
Well, tell me if I heard him wrong. Did he just say 2,000 jobs?
potentially.
Okay, well then, before that, he said it wouldn't put any kind of burden on our schools. So if you've got 2,000 jobs, and I don't know how many each person's gonna have on kids, let's say 1 per 2,000, so you got 2,000 more kids. So that's gonna affect your schools. He said it wouldn't affect our schools. So, and just something to think about. If you're bringing in that many jobs, you're gonna affect a lot of stuff. Plus you got 2,000 people coming in and out of 50 or 31. That's a lot more traffic too, which we were
Jackson
talking
County
about.
is a net job importer versus exporter. More people come here to work every day than go away. So,
All right.
Have it considered an environmental impact statement?
okay, back to you, Mr. Maxey.
Any others that have not spoken?
I wasn't going to speak. My name's Bonnie Dabb. I know several of you on here. Bear with me, I'm not a speaker. But I'm concerned about our utilities. Mutton Creek has already been out of lights 15 times this year. One day, 6 times. Am I right?
Yes.
We need to do something about our utilities. Duke will not be able to handle this and all that. And my concern too is the wildlife, the lights, the noise, and all the wrecks on 50. There does not go a day without a wreck on 50. We need to do something, and I do not think this is the answer right now. Thank you for your time.
Bonnie, I can share with you that part of your outages have been caused by Duke actually replacing lines headed your way. So, over the last few weeks.
Excuse me, but we were out of lights last year over 25 times.
And that,
And I have been
again,
counting them. And I know you're right, they're doing replacing lines.
that's what they shared with me last week, was their line repairs were part of your outages over the last few weeks.
Well, it's funny,
So-
it was an object on the line, or if there was a wreck on 50 and 31. Yeah.
Kevin, you've already spoke. I was just out that direction today and they were still working, so I don't know. He didn't have an end date for me when I talked to him last week, but like I said, they're pulling lines down, was that Sandy Creek? So, which heads your way, so.
Any others?
Speak again?
No.
My name's Don Russell. Most of the things I'm gonna mention have already been touched on. The one thing was, I built out there 30 years ago. I'm in industrial, been industrial for 50 years. I own a business here in town. I'm considering moving out of Seymour because of this kind of crap. I've already had 2 brothers move out. It just keeps happening. I've talked to several people in the area. They want to move. You guys can change that if you guys want to. Talking about the noise, I've heard somebody said, is there any noise in Mutton Creek? I live there, I hear it every day. Yeah, whatever they do may not make it louder, but if you're going to have 2,000 more cars going up down the road, unless they're electric cars, we're going to have more noise. The refuge, has anybody from the refuge talked to anybody from the city about this?
Donna was here last time and did not speak in favor. I'm trying to figure out how to word it. What did you say last time, Donna?
Yeah, I'm not representing.
Yeah, so that's the closest thing we've had to the refuge responding. They were notified though.
They were notified, okay. If we're gonna put industrial out there now, we're just gonna put one facility out there? We're gonna keep growing it? I mean, I can't imagine just putting one factory out there or one industrial place out there. Where are they gonna go? Can't go through the refuge. You got Mutton Creek going to the north. You gotta go south. Can't come into town. What's the plan? Where are we going with this? Has anybody even thought about it? Or is it just, hey, let's do what we're going to do right now and we'll worry about it later?
Ultimately, it probably depends if somebody puts property up for sale down that way.
2 acres of road frontage all the way down 31 to the refuge.
Yeah. So we'll just have a whole bunch of factories right down 31. Even if you go down 31, going south, you still can't go east. Now you got to come across 31. And you got a residential all spotted down through there. Just going to stick factories and more industrial stuff down through there. I keep hearing, I've heard 2 or 3 times from the Bicknells, property taxes would probably go down, but there's been instances they could go up. That don't sound very favorable to the people who live out there. You know, I moved my family out there to get away from this stuff.
Thanks, Doug.
Anyone else?
Is this about the rezone or is it about flock cameras?
Well, it's technically kind of all in one. You guys are talking about what you're putting out there, rezoning. She's talking about electricity. If you guys haven't even explored that link, you guys can't even approve. And I just looked it up. It says it's a grain farmland, general farmland. So it's not.
Well, that's what it's zoned as now,
I'm
correct?
saying that's what it is, essentially, is farmland.
Yeah.
So why would we rezone it to industrial when it's not even in the
Because we have a
area?
buyer that wants to develop it.
Right.
No farmer has chose to purchase it.
Is it a buyer or this is a third-party contract? It's not even actually the owner of the property here,
The owner wants to sell it. They've got a purchase agreement. They want to buy it.
right?
So that's why they're here.
Okay, so they're just trying to make sure that they can get
Get it
zoning
zoned
before they can even buy it.
so they can develop it, yes.
What are they purchasing it for? Can we know that information?
I doubt that that's
What-
been disclosed.
And they've got it for sale for 367?
Do I?
367,000 is what it's for sale for right now?
No. They paid 1.45 million for it, 1,450,000. King Industry did back in 2021.
Enterprise.
King Enterprises, whatever.
But that's
King
who
Royal
still
Real
owns it.
Estate.
Yes,
Okay.
that's who still owns it.
But we don't know what they're selling it for.
No,
Okay,
not till a real estate transaction's complete would we know.
I got skipped, but can I? Take
Sure.
Okay. You got me? Okay.
You're on.
Tyler Hinkle. I think it's, from what I've heard, it's pretty clear that the majority of the opinion of people who are here tonight are not in favor of this. I think that then leaves it in you guys' hands to vote no, clearly. Now, does that mean that everybody here represents the true majority opinion in Seymour right now? No. Clearly, this is not everyone in Seymour. Clearly, this is not even a fraction, a large enough fraction to really know what the people of Seymour want. But the people who are here to show up tonight, it's pretty clear what direction they're aiming in. The only thing I would say is that I think that's something we all need to look into and really reflect on is the idea that what we've heard a lot tonight, in my opinion, is this fear, that fear, what's going to happen if we do this or that, rezone, yada, 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 yada. We can't just stop growing. We can't just quit adding and looking to evolve and change Seymour in a positive direction out of fear of what if. What if this happens for our schools? What if this happens to the makeup of our community? That's not... If at any point in time something stops changing and evolving, it dies. It ends up dying. You can't just stop. Now, we as people, we in Seymour then, need to start asking ourselves, how are we going to go about evolving it, moving it in a positive direction? I guess I would ask everybody in the room. Macy was here tonight talking about the community conversations. Everyone's here tonight showing up for this. Was the direction of our community and our county important enough for everyone in this room to have shown up to one of those community conversations? I can't speak for anyone else in the room. However, if it's important enough for you now, after it's been promoted on Facebook in a very politically charged way, after it becomes next door to your house, it should be important enough for you the rest of the year as well to attend those conversations, to get involved in that, because if not, it's just a hot topic. It's just something to talk about for a while when it hits your doorstep. And by then, it's almost too late. That's kind of the whole point. People are upset because by this point, yeah, even if you all, or like, I guess 4 of you, vote yes, it doesn't matter what everyone says tonight. But if we start taking it into our daily, we start attending those efforts and actually chart a course for the county, chart a course for the city that people can get behind in that respect, then it actually makes a little more sense as to, and it puts us in a better position to then kind of move forward in that direction together, as opposed to just waiting until something happens and then standing up saying no, we don't want it. Like we gotta be more involved on the daily and not just here once. However, no, if you would, because that's what everybody wants.
One quick statement, Mayor. One sentence. Why don't you just request or require an environmental impact study?
Because
That'll
we're not
answer
at
all
that
questions.
phase, Chip, and you know that. You've developed properties. Mark, do you want to vote, or where
Anyone
do you
else?
want to go next?
Time.
Hearing none. Yep.
Okay. Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 12, Council Bill number 30
On second reading.
on second reading.
Third.
Third
I'm sorry.
reading, sorry.
I think this is the first time I can remember doing a third reading.
We've done a few over the years, but not very many.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion on the table to approve ordinance number 12, Council Bill number 30. Ordinance to rezone property located at 11055 East US Highway 50. Motion made by Mr. Maxey, seconded by Seth Davidson. Mr. Fry.
Weighing the pros and cons, I know pros being it, I think it's a prime location. I know it's a good tax revenue. I've always been for growth. But then when you look at the cons being infrastructure, schools being maxed, my opinion, and academics being lowered, homes, we have multiple families living in homes, and I think that's going to make the problem worse. I think our healthcare facility's been taxed very hard. The low pay average, and not knowing what's coming in, I'm afraid is gonna maybe even make that average lower. Too many professionals are living outside of our Seymour anyway. And the tax abatement is a concern, and we have industrial property available, so therefore I vote no.
Mr. Lucas, your
I
vote.
vote yes.
Mr. Davidson.
No.
Mr. Hubbard.
Under Indiana law, I'm required to take in 5 bullet points on making this decision, as Kevin pointed those out earlier. And with those 5 bullet points, as he read off all 5 of them, 2, 3, and 5, I cannot agree with this project, so my vote is no.
In agreement with some of the others, at this time, I'm a no as well.
Third reading of ordinance number 12, Council Bill number 30 has failed on a vote of 1 to 5. Anything old business?
That is it for me.
Old business, Mr.
Would you
Hubbard.
like to,
May I
No.
approach, please?
hang on one second. Let's make the new, and then I think I know what you're gonna ask.
No, I don't
The
have
old, sorry.
Mr. Davidson, old business?
No.
Mr. Lucas, old. Mr. Fry.
Go ahead, Blair.
If I may, thank you for your time and consideration on the petition. Christina, I'd like to withdraw the annexation petition if I may at this time,
Yes, sir.
and I'll follow up with you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
I believe the vote was 5 to 1.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks again for your time and consideration,
Thank
folks.
you.
Yep.
Do I need?
Well, he just said Poland, so that should be Poland.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that's those two. Hey, we do still need to finish a meeting, so shh, thank you.
Quiet, please.
Hey,
Thank you.
question.
If you want to leave, you can leave quietly, but we still have a meeting to finish.
I was gonna ask, do we need to make a motion to modify the agenda?
He's asked for it to be removed. You can amend the agenda, I would assume, or you
Can we
can, however you want to do it.
Do we need to amend, or can we just?
He's withdrawn them. I mean,
Yeah.
so,
No petition to consider.
no.
Okay, all right, okay. Want to make sure that was correct.
So, new business, Mrs. Long.
None.
Mr. Maxey.
None.
Mr. Hubbard.
No.
Mr. Davidson.
No.
Mr. Lucas.
Nope.
Mr. Fry.
No.
Miscellaneous from council.
Nothing.
A line got deleted.
A line?
Yeah,
Yeah. Jane didn't want any miscellaneous business.
I guess not. We're missing a line, Jane.
Yeah, no.
Miscellaneous from the floor.
Not what you're gonna
Motion to adjourn. Second.
To adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Meeting adjourned.